All right, good evening, everyone, and I welcome you all to the eighth session of MS Excel Minis by MBYC. I'll dive straight into the world of Excel, and today we'll be learning pivot tables. I hope you enjoy it. Sharing my screen, please let me know if you're not able to see it, okay? All right, so I have shared my screen. First of all, let's just understand what pivot table is and how it is different from normal tables. So pivot table is nothing but a summarized table, or it does not changes what Excel, whatever table we have created in Excel, but it summarizes the data so that we can view it from a different perspective, or view the summary of this particular table so that we can understand it properly. All right. Now, how is it different from an Excel, from all the other tables? All the other tables, we have to create it. We have to find out what should be the row, what should be the column, and then apply certain formulas to it. And we cannot change it, right? But a pivot table is very, very flexible. We will learn why it is flexible in a couple of minutes. The second thing why pivot table is so powerful and so dearly used in business world or other places is that it uses or utilizes absolutely minimum or no formulas to summarize that particular table, which would have otherwise used multiple range of formulas to get the same output. All right. So how do we create a pivot table? On my screen, you must be seeing a particular table which has an order date, a region, representative, what are the items sold, what is the unit price, sorry, how many number of units were sold, what is the unit price, what is the sales, and what is the COGS. All right. Now, to create a pivot table, you need to click anywhere in the table. You make sure that there are no empty columns in this particular table. All right. Go to Insert toolbar and click on the pivot table. All right. As soon as you click on pivot table, you'll first notice that the whole range has been selected. And how will you know that the range is selected? By these dancing dashes, which are moving up and down. All right. Now, this particular dialog box which has opened in front of you will ask for what is the range. If at all there is some other range which you want to select, you can select from here. The second thing it will ask is choose where you want the pivot table report to be placed, right? You want to create a new worksheet, or you want to place this particular pivot table in this very sheet at some other location, right? I can create a new worksheet, but for now, we'll select this existing worksheet and you have to give a location. Now, how to give a location? Just click on this location box and click anywhere on the sheet where you want the pivot table to start from. Let's just say I click on K1 and click on OK. As soon as you click on OK, you'll see that a few more toolbars have appeared on your screen. One is a blank kind of box along with pivot table fields towards the right. Right. Now notice, I now understand. All the columns, order date, region, representative, items, units, unit SP, sales, COGS, have appeared as fields in this particular new dialog box which has opened towards the right. And these have to be categorized in 4 different chambers, which is filters, columns, rows, and values. Cool. Till now you are with me, right? Now, how to use a pivot table or how to summarize your table? Simple way to do that is, let's just say I want to find out the region and representatives. Select the region and without leaving your mouse, drag and drop it in the rows. All right. So all the unique values in region column in the table towards your left has appeared as row labels in K2, K3, K4, right? Similarly, let's just drag and drop representatives in columns. So all the unique representatives, Andrews, Gill, Howard, and so on, have appeared in different columns, right? In different columns. And these are known as column labels. Now let's just say I want to find out what is the sales done by Andrew in central region, Gil in central region, and so on. Let's just say I want to find out sales, drag and drop sales in the value chamber. All right. So we have covered three chambers. One was rows, one was columns. By rows, we got row labels. By columns, we got column labels. And by values, we got the values. Right. So how do we read this particular table now? It is very interesting to note that Andrews has done 438.37 worth of sales in central region. Now, how do we know that what all sales he has done? Let's just say I want to find out Andrew's sales in central region, what all he has sold. Just double click on this particular number and you'll notice that a new sheet has been created. This is sheet 8 because I have already created 7 other sheets. So sheet 8 has been created, which gives all the sales of Andrews, right, in central region. Central region, Andrews has sold binders as well as pencil, and the total sales. Let's just sum up these sales figures. And if you see towards your bottom right corner, the sales figures, the sum of the sales figures is 438.37, which is exactly equal to the figure which we have got in pivot table. Cool till now? Now let's just say that I don't like this particular way of representation because there are too many columns and too less rows. So what we have to do now is just select this regions in the row chamber which you have placed, drag and drop it in columns. Do the same thing with representatives and drag and drop it in rows. All of a sudden the look has changed. The look of this particular table has changed. This is why pivot table is very flexible. You can change the look whenever you want. You can summarize the tables whenever you want, and you can change it further. Let's just see how. Let's just say that I don't want the sales figures of these representatives. I want to find out that how many entries are there of these particular representatives, right? So we have already placed rows, representatives in rows. Select and drag and drop these representatives in values as well. So you'll find the count of these representatives, how many sales he or she has done. So Andrews has done 4 sales, Gill 5 sales, and so on. Let's just say I want to find out these 5 entries for Gill. Again, just double click on this 5 figure and you'll see that a new sheet by the name sheet 9 has been created, and all the 5 entries of Gill has appeared in front of us. Cool till now? Now, when you were out of this pivot table, you must have noticed that there are certain toolbars, but as soon as you click on inside the pivot table, you'll notice that pivot table analyze and design, these 2 toolbars have appeared, right? Click on design. So you'll find multiple formatting option and multiple layout options, right? Let's just say I don't like this plain format. I want to give it some colors. So you'll see that there are multiple formatting options towards the right. Click on this downward arrow and let's just say I like this dark theme. As soon as you click on this, you'll find a dark theme. Let's just say I want banded rows. Banded rows means alternate rows be colored. Select banded rows and you'll find alternate rows being dark and light. Similarly, you can select banded columns, but since we are having only 2 columns, no column will be banded, right? Let's just say I don't want to highlight the column headers. Click on it and the column headers highlight has gone out, right? Let's just say I don't want this grand total. You must be able to find these 4 drop downs in the grand total of the rows and columns grand total, and you will find it. Cool. So let's take a few examples in the next 5 minutes so that you understand this particular table better. All right. Let's just say I created this particular table by myself by using those SUMIFs formulas which we used earlier. Let's just say I want to recreate this particular table using pivot table. All right. So again, how do we do that? Insert pivot table in this particular existing sheet, and I'll place this particular table in row column. All right. Let's do it one by one. What do I want is I want to find representative wise, region wise sales. So representatives I'll drop in rows, region I'll drop in column chamber, and sales I'll drop in values. Right. So is it giving correct figures? Let's just see. Andrews Central 438.37, Gill Central 1749. All right, it is giving perfect figures, but I don't want these grand totals because I just want to replicate this particular table which I created. So what I'll do is click on this particular pivot table, go to designs, go to grand totals. I don't want the grand total, deselected. Both column and row grand total have disappeared. Right. Now see, over here it is saying it is sales, and over here it is saying sum of sales. Similarly, there are certain there is a row which says column labels and there is a column which says row labels. I don't want that as well. Right. So we go to report layout and we ask it to show a compact form, or let's just say I want to show it as outline. Right. So that particular thing has disappeared. Again, go to sum of sales in this particular field. Let's just say I don't want this as sum of sales. I want it as sales, SALES. Oh, sorry. So I want to remove this sum of sales and give it the name as sales. What I have to do is I go to values, and you see this particular drop down arrow over here. I just click on it and go to value field settings. All right. Click on value field settings and you will see that there is a custom name which I can give to this. I just need to give it as sales or total sales, whatever you find comfortable. I'll give it as total sales and click on OK. Similarly, in this very same dialog box which you used earlier, you can reduce or increase the number of decimals by going into the number formats. In numbers, you can reduce the number of decimals to 0. All right. Click on OK. Click on OK, and you'll see that the number of decimals have reduced down to 0. Cool till now? Let's take one more example. Let's just say I want region-wise, representatives-wise sale, but region and representative should be side by side. Okay. And similarly, I want COGS as well. I'll recreate it quickly. You try it out at your end. All right. So how do we create a pivot table? Again, insert pivot table, existing location, and give it a location. All right. Now what I'll do is I'll select the region and give it in row labels. Similarly, representatives also I'll give it as row labels. So if you notice that both the things have appeared one under the other. Similarly, sales I'll put it in values, and COGS I'll put it in values. All right. Now I don't want to want the view like this. I want central or the region in one column and entries or the name of the representative in another column. How I'll do that is I'll go to design, I'll go to reports layout, and I'll use the tabular form. All right. So region and representatives both have got individual rows of themselves. Right. Now, I don't want the subtotals. I'll simply go and off the subtotals. And the representation is now exactly same as I wanted. Right. But yet I don't want this minus symbol. I don't want this minus symbol over here. So how I'll do that is I'll go to pivot table analyze, and over the towards the right you'll see a show field, right? Just untick this plus minus button and those minus sign will disappear. All right. The third and the last thing which I want to discuss in pivot tables, there are many more things which you can ask me or else we'll take up in the advanced schedule, is how do I change, how do I get the count or maybe some other thing other than sum or sum of all these value fields. How do I do that? I'll go to the third and the last example. And over here, I have created a table which gives the count of all the regions, average sale, maximum sale, minimum sale, total. I'll just give you how do I change the look of a particular thing, and try out all the others by yourself. All right, let's create a pivot table again. Insert pivot table, existing worksheet, and I'll place this existing this pivot table right under this so that we get a like-to-like comparison. All right, click on OK. Now what I want is I want regions, and first of all I want count, so I'll just click on region and drag it over here. I'll get the count. All right, let's check. Central, yes, it is 24. East is 13. West is 6. And grand total is 43. It goes perfectly. Now let's just say I want average sales. So how do I do that? I'll drag sales towards the value field right under count of region. All right, it will give me a sum. But I don't want sum, I want an average. How will I do that? Click on this downward arrow and click on value field settings, right? When I go, when I receive this another new dialog box, I'll see that other than sum, I can get a count, I can get an average, maximum, minimum, product, whatever I want, right? Let's just click on average, right? And go to number formatting. In numbers, I don't want decimals. I just want 2 decimals or 1 decimal, let's just say. All right. And click on OK and OK one more time. All right. Let's check it again. Central average is 446. It matches. East 461.7 and West 414.5. Perfect. Right. It is perfect. So try max, min, and total by yourself, and also count by yourself. All right, and replicate all the things which we have discussed today, because in the next class we'll be using these very tables to create graphs and create a dashboard for ourselves. All right, so as promised, we have already conducted 8 classes, but we'll have one bonus class in which we'll be discussing about graphs, how to create graphs, and how to create dashboards. So stay tuned. Please practice pivot table very, very religiously, because these tables we'll be using in the next class. All right. Any questions? Please feel free to ask here or on the group, or maybe just text me personally. I'll revert to it. Any questions? All right. So see you all on Tuesday. Tuesday will be the last class, and on Tuesday, I'll be giving a brief assignment on successful submission of which you all will be getting certificates. All those people who submit the assignment will be getting the certificate. And please practice pivot table very, very religiously, because all these tables and all these formulas which we have learned so far in these 8 lectures, we'll be using it to summarize and create dashboards in the next lecture. See you all on Tuesday. Bye till then.